All right, welcome back, y'all. Anderson Emerald here. Appreciate y'all tuning in for the videos. I know I've been putting out a lot, just trying to like keep, be ahead of the curve and also kind of keep a little pulse on the news and things like that. It's been busy, but trying to make sure I can still get a couple videos out to y'all, even if it's just kind of taking a look at some of these articles. But today we are talking about some track and field stars who are looking to kind of make a comeback in 2025, who were out last year or, had some ups and downs and are trying to really get back on their feet in the 2025 World Championship year. Now, recently, I did speak about Kashane Thompson, who's going to be running in the 60-meter dash indoors for the first time, going to the Astana meet out in Kazakhstan on, January 29th. But he actually is going to be opening up his season this weekend on this Saturday down in Jamaica. He's going to be competing at the Central Hurdles, Relays, and Field Event Meet 2025 at GC Foster College. And yeah, again, he's going to be opening up his season. Let me see if I can find Kashane Thompson out here. So yeah, he's going to be opening up his with the 60-meter dash. MVP is really sending a lot of their athletes here prior to going over to Asia to compete in the 60-meter dash at that indoor meet. So you're going to see Kashane Thompson here. You're going to see, I think, Tina Clayton, Sasha Lee Forbes. There's a couple of athletes, Sade Williams. All of them are going to be competing at this meet locally in Jamaica outdoors before going indoors for the Astana meet in Kazakhstan. But this is not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about Shericka Jackson. And she, of course, competes for MVP with MVP Track Club, but she is not competing here. And coming off what occurred last year where she, started off the season a little bit later than normal, she didn't run as fast as we might have expected her when she did eventually come back. And we saw her, get injured at the Hungary Continental Tour meeting. We saw her, lose a race at the Oslo Diamond League, I think it was, early in the season. She did, of course, qualify for the Olympics in the 100 and the 200, but then she eventually pulled out. So today we're going to be looking at Olympics.com, where they have a great article kind of diving in and talking about track and field stars set to make a comeback in 2025. And of course, Shericka Jackson is one of those athletes on the list. So let's talk about Shericka Jackson and what the article has to say about her. So few nations dominate sprinting like Jamaica, and in 2025, two of its most celebrated athletes, Shericka Jackson and Elaine Thompson-Herah, are set to make their highly anticipated returns. Both of these women have been, along with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, what you would call the big three of Jamaican sprinting. They have dominated the sprints all the way from 2008 when Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce first won that gold medal in Beijing in the 100, all the way up to 2023 with Shericka Jackson winning the 200-meter gold at the World Championships, even with Shericka and Shelly getting silver and bronze at the World Championships in the 100-meter dash. But article says Jackson, who shocked the world by withdrawing from the women's 100 meters and 200-meter events at Paris 2024, is hungry for redemption. With a blistering best of 21.41 seconds in the 200, the second fastest time ever recorded, Jackson's ambition to break Florence Griffith Joyner's iconic 21.34 second world record set in 1988 remains firmly in her sights. So I think 2023, I think that was the year that everyone was on their heels of, Shericka Jackson's potential to break that 200-meter world record. And it really seemed like it was getting close. Yes, 2022 at the World Championships, she ran 21.45 seconds, becoming number 2 all-time at that point. Then in 2023, she went on to the World Championships in Budapest. She ran 21.41 seconds, inching ever so closer to that world record of 21.34. But even more importantly, during that year, she not only ran 21.41, but she also ran 21.48. She also had run, I think, 21.57 in that year as well, in 2023. So you're talking about 21.57, you're talking about 21.48 and 21.41, all in the span of a couple weeks from Budapest all the way down to Eugene at the end of the season, inching closer to that world record. And she's spoken about wanting to get that world record. And on top of that, she's spoken about wanting to get an Olympic medal in the 200, a gold medal specifically. What's interesting is that because she missed out on last year, she pulled out of the 100 and the 200 last minute at the Olympic Games. Check out the interview that we have on CDS Mag. Got a chance to actually speak with her at the Puma House where she announced that she was pulling out of the 100. Then later on, she pulled out of the 200. It was really, really dramatic, but that was a really, really interesting moment because we know that the one thing missing from Shericka Jackson's, medal box is an Olympic medal, specifically a gold medal, of course, in the 200-meter dash. You can argue, GOAT argument is tricky because of, all the accolades and kind of things that come into play, but you can argue that she's number 2 all time, number 3 all time. Maybe some people will argue number 1 all time in the 200 as well. But that one missing piece is a 200-meter medal of any color. The fact that she, misjudged the heats at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, and then in the Paris Olympics, she was injured, so she wasn't able to compete. That is the one thing that's kind of hanging over. And I think for fans, we're looking at like, man, Shericka has done basically everything outside of that world record, but she needs that Olympic medal. If she gets an Olympic gold medal in the 200, essentially she'd be my GOAT. But she has an Olympic bronze in the 100 from 2021 in Tokyo. She has the Olympic bronze in the 400 from 2016 in Rio. She, of course, has the Olympic medals in the 4x4 and the 4x1, from 2016 and 2021. So she has everything else except that 200-meter medal. So this year, 2025, it's not an Olympic year, but Shericka is going to be looking to make a comeback to really go and A, defend her title in the 200, B, get on top of the podium in the 100. She wants a gold medal. Remember, she does not have one there. Bronze in 2021, silver in 2022, silver in 2023, injured 2024. What is she going to be able to do in 2025? So she is looking for a comeback. And in my personal opinion, I think Shericka is going to be able to make a comeback and be successful, get back to her old self and contend with the best women in the world. We saw Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas, low-key, she actually dominated. I know she didn't run like 21.6 or anything like that last year, but she had a very consistent 200-meter season. We'll talk about that another day. But Shericka Jackson, she wants to get that gold medal, in the 200, get back on top of the podium. In the 100, we saw that Sha'Carri Richardson won gold in 2023. Julian Alfred, she won gold in 2024. Shericka Jackson wants to step up and win a gold medal. So this is going to be a comeback year for her. Going to be interesting to see what she's able to do and if she's able to really get back healthy, get back to those 10.6s, get back to those 21.4s, maybe better. I think that's going to probably happen for Shericka Jackson. I have a lot of confidence in her. But on the flip side, article continues. But hot on her heels is her teammate Thompson-Herah, Elaine Thompson-Herah, a 5-time Olympic champion and queen of sprint doubles, looking to reclaim her throne after an Achilles injury sidelined her last year. With a personal best of 21.53 seconds in the 200, Thompson-Herah remains a threat to both Jackson and FloJo's long-standing mark. Now, this is a little bit more interesting because Elaine Thompson-Herah, double-double Olympic champion in the 100 and the 200, 2016 and 2021, she's been a lot more injury prone, compared to Shericka Jackson. I think this might be the first year that Shericka Jackson is truly, dealt with some significant injuries. Elaine Thompson-Herah, we saw her in 2017, dealt with injuries. We saw her in 2019, dealt with injuries. We saw her in 2022, dealt with injuries. 2023, injuries. 2024, injuries, right? The only years that she actually was not, majorly injury prone was 2015, her first global championships, silver medal at the World Championships in Beijing. 2016, double-double. 2021, double-double. And then 2022, again, she dealt with injuries, dealt with that coaching switch, but she did get the bronze medal in the 100 at those World Championships. Now, she, of course, is a little bit older than Shericka Jackson as well. It's going to be really tough to see how she makes a really smooth comeback. I definitely have a lot more confidence, I'm going to be honest, drastically more confidence in Shericka Jackson making a smooth comeback compared to Elaine Thompson-Herah. On top of that, if we look at Elaine Thompson-Herah and her progression over the past couple years, specifically in the 200, it's been a little bit since she's, really had a strong, performance in the 200. We're talking about a couple years at this point. 2023, she ran 23.23 seconds. She didn't run, of course, in 2024 in terms of the 200. 2022, she ran 21.97. Now, 2021, it's 4 years ago at this point, but she did run that legendary 21.53 seconds. And it's crazy to think at that point, we were like, what is going on? That is legendary, like crazy. She could break the world record. And then all of a sudden comes Shericka Jackson. But we're talking about 4 years since she's dipped under 21.9. Even 21.9, it's not going to be super competitive in this current era. If you're talking about Shericka Jackson coming back, if you're talking about Gabby Thomas, if you're talking about Julian Alfred, you're talking about all these other women who are consistently running 21s, I don't know. Going to be tough to see her really make a comeback there. But on the flip side, I would say the 100 is a bit more promising. We can ignore 2024, but in 2023, even though she dealt with injuries early in that season, she did manage to end the season off very strong, running 10.79 seconds at the very end of the season. She went to the Zurich Diamond League, the Brussels Diamond League, she went to the Prefontaine Classic, and she ended off very strong. 2022, remember, that was the year she did get the bronze medal despite dealing with some injuries. She also ran 10.79. So when we're talking about comebacks, it's a little challenging when talking about the 200 for Elaine Thompson-Herah, but In the 100, I think there's still some room for opportunity. I'm going to leave a link in the description for the CDS Mag podcast. Myself, Chris Chavez, we were able to kind of break down our predictions for the 2025 season, our bold predictions. And me and Chris were kind of talking about, the prospects for Jamaica and who's going to be able to make a comeback between Shericka, Shelly-Ann, and Elaine Thompson-Herah. I was speaking about some of the young talent that Jamaica does have who are coming up and are very much going to be, some of the main competitors. You're talking about Tia Clayton, who made the final at the Olympic Games last year in Paris, and she ran, 10.84 seconds. She won the Celestia Diamond League in the 100 there as well. You're talking about Tina Clayton, her sister, who is I think she's coming up. She was maybe a little more talented, dealt with some setbacks and injuries, but essentially they're on equal footing if you want to make projections out. You're talking about Naisha Berger. I think she broke 11 seconds for the first time last year. You also have Crystal Soley. She, of course, is extremely talented. You have Alana Reed, World Junior Champion, from last year. Brianna Williams. It's crazy to think that Brianna Williams is only 22 or 23. I forget exactly, but she's essentially extremely young. So many women from Jamaica are still on the rise and are still, going to be competitive for 2025, 26, 27, 4 years to come, that it's going to be a little bit tougher for someone like Elaine Thompson-Herah to make a smooth comeback unless she's hitting 10.8s, 10.7s like she did, prior to 2024. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It's really interesting to kind of see the dynamics of and the landscape of Jamaican sprinting right now for the women, where they were so dominant since 1980 when Merlene Ottey got the bronze medal in the 200. Ever since then, they have never missed a podium in the 200 meters at the Olympic Games. In the 100 since I think it was 1984 when Merlene Ottey got a silver medal at the Olympic Games in Los Angeles behind Evelyn Ashford. Since then, they had always gotten onto the podium in the 100-meter dash at the Olympic Games, but 2024 was the first time for both the 100 and the 200. But like I said, this is going to be very exciting, going to be really, really interesting to see how someone like Shericka Jackson, I think she's going to make a strong comeback. Elaine Thompson-Herah, it'll be interesting to see where she goes. She's definitely a lot more injury prone, but if she makes a comeback and is healthy, she, of course, is a threat. Both of them are gold medal threats. Both of them are, threats to potentially challenge the world record if they're 100% healthy. We'll see. Now, before I end off, I did want to talk about some of the other comebacks that they did have in this article. Bahamas 400-meter king and queen. They said the 400 meters will be another event to watch closely, as 2025 will see the black, aquamarine, and gold grace the track in the 400. Shaunae Miller-Uibo, the women's 400-meter Olympic champion from both Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020, alongside Stephen Gardiner, the men's 400-meter Olympic champion from Tokyo 2020, will both return to the global stage. So we know Shaunae Miller-Uibo, two-time Olympic champion, 2016 and 2021. In my opinion, she's probably third or fourth best 400 meter runner in history. Just my personal opinion, considering, her career, considering her accolades. But she, of course, had a child back in 2023, early in the season. Then since then, she's dealt with some injuries and setbacks, trying to make a comeback in 2024. Unfortunately, didn't go exactly her way, though she did. Shout out to her. She competed at the Olympic Games. So we'll see if she's able to make a smooth comeback. Similar situation for Stephen Gardiner. He's, of course, been dealing with injuries for the past couple years now. You're talking about 2022, 2023, and 2024. So 3 consecutive years of Stephen Gardiner dealing with injuries. He was, of course, the 2019 world champion, 2021 Olympic champion, but those injury setbacks have hindered him. And the event is shifting. Quincy Hall is already faster than his personal best, right? Stephen Gardiner ran 43.48 seconds in 2019. Quincy Hall has run 43.40. Matthew Hudson-Smith, 43.44. And then you have Dream Richards, you have Muzala Samukonga, you have Karani James. So many guys are in the mix. So men's 400 is very, very tricky right now. We'll see if they're able to make a comeback. But last one I do want to end off on is Yulimar Rojas, the GOAT of the women's triple jump. Women's triple jump titan. Venezuela's Yulimar Rojas, the undisputed queen of the triple jump, is preparing to reclaim her crown after an Achilles injury dashed her Paris 2024 dreams. The 7-time world champion and world record holder with 15.67 meters outdoors and 15.74 meters indoors, which is crazy. You're talking about Yulimar Rojas almost jumping 16 meters. Insane. But she towers over the competition, both literally and figuratively, as she stands tall at 6'4". In her absence, Dominica's Thealafan jumped to the most recent Olympic gold, but her 15.02 meter jump pales in comparison to Rojas's jaw-dropping marks. A healthy Rojas in 2025 could push world record limits and usher in a new era of her reign. Huge shout outs to Yulimar Rojas and the triple jump. I'll probably do a longer in-depth triple jump video, probably recapping what happened in 2024 and looking forward to 2025. Yulimar Rojas is the absolute GOAT of the triple jump, and in my opinion is probably one of the most dominant athletes that we've ever seen in the sport of track and field. Like the article said, she dealt with an Achilles injury last year, so couldn't compete to defend her Olympic title. But if she comes back healthy in any capacity, she is by far going to be the top athlete, who's, going to be the favorite for gold. If I see her jump like 14.7 meters on one of her first competitions or something around that range, I'm probably going to pick her for gold because she is just so talented when talking about what she's done in the triple jump. And, the triple jump is my favorite event. You know that athletes like Thea Lafon, huge shout out to Thea Lafon, world indoor gold medalist, world or Olympic outdoor gold medalist. You're talking about other women like Shericka Ricketts got her first Olympic medal with the silver in Paris last year. You have someone like Leonis Perez Hernandez. You have Marina Beck-Romanchuk. You have so many women. Jasmine Moore with the long jump, triple jump, double. This event is extremely competitive. But at the end of the day, if Yulimar Rojas is jumping, she is the GOAT and she is untouchable. So it's going to be exciting to see if she's able to get back healthy and really not only contend for another gold medal, but potentially push the limits of what's possible in that women's triple jump, especially as, she kind of, gets to the second half of her career. We'll see if she's able to kind of keep things up. So kind of a long video diving into this article, but just wanted to talk about, these different women and of course men with Stephen Gardiner, these people who are going to be making a comeback in 2025. Again, check out the article from Olympics.com. I'm going to link it in the description. Also check out the podcast that myself, Chris Chavez, and Preet, we were talking about on the Citius Map podcast to kind of highlight some of those rising stars in Jamaican track and field on the women's sprint side. But let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back again next time. Thanks for watching, y'all.